The large exploration ship named Frontier moved slowly through the dark space. Captain Ellis stood on the bridge, looking at the blue planet on the main screen. "What do we know about this world?" Ellis asked, turning to Science Officer Remar. Remar, with skin the color of pale blue and 4 arms that moved gracefully over the control panel, checked the readings. "It appears to be a standard Class M planet. Nitrogen-oxygen atmosphere, large bodies of water. Nothing special at first glance." Ellis nodded. This was their 5th planetary survey this month. The Galactic Union wanted all potentially habitable worlds cataloged and classified. It was routine work. "Wait," Raymar said suddenly, his voice rising with excitement. "I'm picking up artificial signals, radio waves, digital transmissions. This planet has technology." Ellis moved closer to the screen. "Life forms. Many," Raymar confirmed. "The planet has remarkable biodiversity, but one species appears dominant." Raymar projected an image onto the main screen. The creature stood on 2 legs. It had 2 arms, a round head with forward-facing eyes, and no visible natural weapons, no claws, no fangs, no armor. "They call themselves humans," Raymar said, analyzing the intercepted transmissions, "and they've built global civilization without any special physical advantages." Ellis studied the creatures with growing interest. "They look harmless enough. Standard bipedal design. No natural defenses. Classify them as a protected civilian species and prepare first contact protocols." "Sir," Raymar interrupted, "you should see this footage first." The screen changed to show humans in various activities. Some were building complex structures. Others were creating art. But then came images that made Ellis step back in surprise. A human chased a much faster animal across a hot, dry plain. The animal eventually collapsed from exhaustion while the human, sweating but still moving, caught it. Another human lifted a weight several times heavier than itself. A group of humans coordinated a complex hunting strategy that trapped animals much larger and stronger than themselves. "What am I seeing?" Ellis asked, confused. "These soft-bodied creatures shouldn't be able to do these things." Raymar's voice was filled with wonder. "According to our analysis, humans are persistence predators. They lack speed, but they can outlast almost any creature on their planet through superior cooling systems and efficient movement. They can track prey for days without rest." Ellis watched as the screen showed more footage. Humans swimming great distances, climbing sheer rock faces, surviving in frozen wastes and burning deserts. "Their endurance is remarkable," Raymar continued. "But look at this." The screen showed humans creating complex machines, working together in large groups, and communicating with sophisticated language. "I've never seen this combination before," Ellis said quietly. "Intelligence and predatory ability of this level in the same species. That's because it doesn't exist anywhere else in the galaxy," Raymar confirmed. "All other known intelligent species evolved away from predatory behavior as they developed civilization, or they remained predators, but never developed higher intelligence." "So what classification do we give them?" Ellis asked. Raymar looked troubled. "I don't know, Captain. They're clearly intelligent enough for protected civilian status, but they show all the key markers of apex predator classification as well." Ellis stared at the screen, watching as humans built cities, created art, and hunted with equal skill. "A species that can compose music, split atoms, and track prey for days until it collapses from exhaustion," he muttered. "The Union has no category for this." "Should we abort the survey?" Raymar asked. "The Union might want to approach this carefully." Ellis considered the question, then shook his head. "No, this is too important. The Union needs to know about humans as soon as possible." He turned to his communications officer. "Send everything we've learned to headquarters. Tell them we found something unprecedented." As the Frontier continued its orbit around Earth, the crew watched the humans with new eyes, not seeing the seemingly harmless creatures they first observed, but something far more complex and potentially dangerous. The only species in the galaxy where unarmed civilian and deadly predator were the same classification. Ambassador Trell paced nervously around the grand meeting hall of the Galactic Union headquarters. His 6 legs moved in perfect rhythm as his 3 eyes blinked in sequence, a sign of deep stress in his species. "You're telling me these humans cannot be classified?" he asked, looking at the team of scientists gathered before him. Lead researcher Mork nodded slowly. "That is correct, Ambassador. In our 4,000 years of categorizing species across the galaxy, we have never encountered this particular problem." The enormous wall screen displayed images of Earth and its inhabitants. The Galactic Union had strict rules about how to approach new species. Each species was carefully classified before any contact could be made. "All intelligent species fall into clear categories," Mork explained, pointing to the chart. "The peaceful builders, like the polks, evolved from herd animals. The defensive thinkers, like your own kind, Ambassador, came from prey species that developed intelligence as a defense mechanism." Trell nodded impatiently. "And then there are the controlled predators, like the Vask, who evolved from hunters but developed restraint protocols as they became intelligent." "Exactly," Mork continued. "But humans," he paused, bringing up new images on the screen. "Humans show characteristics of multiple categories. They build complex societies like peaceful builders. They use intelligence to solve problems like defensive thinkers, but they retain powerful predatory instincts and abilities." The screen showed humans in different settings: scientists working in laboratories, families in homes, but also soldiers in combat and hunters tracking prey. "Look at this," said Dr. Zula, the xenobiologist. She showed footage of a human chasing down a deer. Humans can enter a state they call runner's high, where they ignore pain and exhaustion. They literally chase prey until it drops from exhaustion. Ambassador Trell's skin turned a pale green. "That's disturbing." "And here," Dr. Zilla continued, showing another video. "Humans in cold water. Most species would die quickly, but humans can survive and even swim in near-freezing temperatures. Their thermal regulation is extraordinary," Mork added. "They sweat to cool down. They're one of the few species that can regulate body temperature this way. It allows them to function in environments that would kill most creatures." Trell moved closer to the screen, studying the images carefully. "But they have no claws, no fangs, no poison. How are they predators?" "Tools," Dr. Zila explained. "They crafted weapons early in their development. But even without tools, they're dangerous. Their grip strength is remarkable. They can throw objects with deadly accuracy, and they can learn to fight in countless ways. Most concerning," Mork added, "is their psychology. They possess both pack predator instincts and high intelligence. They plan, coordinate, and execute complex strategies just as easily as they compose music or build spacecraft." Ambassador Trell sat down heavily. "So what classification do we give them?" "This affects everything: contact protocols, safety measures, diplomatic approaches." The room fell silent for a long moment. Finally, Council Member Jex, who had been quiet until now, spoke up. "We need a new classification. I propose civilian predator species with special diplomatic protocols." "That's never been done," Trell objected. "Neither has a species like this been discovered," Jex replied simply. On the screen, a new image appeared: a human child playing with a small animal. Next to it, a human soldier in combat gear. "The same species," Mork said quietly, "capable of gentleness and extreme violence. They are walking contradictions." Ambassador Trell took a deep breath. "Very well. I will present this to the Council. We will create new protocols. But no contact yet. We need to study them more." As the meeting ended, one final image appeared on the screen: a human space probe leaving Earth's orbit, aimed toward the outer planets. "They're expanding," Dr. Zilla noted. "Yes," Trell said. and they have no idea what waits for them in the stars, or what the stars think of them. In their observation post near Earth, the crew of the Frontier continued their silent watch, recording and studying the only species in the galaxy where unarmed civilian and deadly predator were the same classification. The meeting room aboard the Galactic Union Station Harmony was designed to make all species feel comfortable. The lighting could adjust to any vision type. The temperature zones allowed cold-blooded and warm-blooded beings to sit in the same room. Even the air mixture changed in different sections. Lieutenant James, the first human representative sent to meet with the Galactic Union, sat at the large round table. He tried to look calm, but inside, his heart raced with excitement. Humans had dreamed of meeting aliens for centuries. Now it was happening. Across from him sat Ambassador Trell and 4 other alien representatives. They watched James carefully, as if he might suddenly attack them. "We welcome you to galactic space, Lieutenant James," Ambassador Trell said formally. His translator changed his clicking sounds into English. "This preliminary meeting will establish basic diplomatic protocols." James nodded. "On behalf of Earth, I thank you for this opportunity. We have so much to learn from each other." The meeting progressed smoothly for the first hour. They discussed simple things, basic cultural differences, how their technologies compared, and the structure of the Galactic Union. Then something unexpected happened. One of the aliens, a small green being named Plex, reached for a water container. The container slipped and began falling toward a control panel filled with sensitive equipment. James moved without thinking. In one quick motion, he jumped from his seat, lunged across the table, and caught the container before it hit the controls. It was a simple reaction, the kind of quick move that any human might make. But the room erupted in chaos. Alarms blared. Security fields snapped into place around James. The alien representatives jumped back, making high-pitched warning sounds. "What happened?" James asked, confused. He still held the water container, frozen in place. "I just caught it before it fell." Ambassador Trell had pressed himself against the wall, all 3 eyes wide with shock. You moved faster than our security systems could track you," he said, his voice shaking. "No civilian species can move that quickly." James slowly put down the container. "I just have good reflexes. It's normal for humans." "Normal." Another representative, a tall blue being, checked readings on a device. "You accelerated faster than a krill-hunting beast. Your muscles generated power that would tear most species apart. And you did this, casually." James stood still, trying to appear as non-threatening as possible. "I'm sorry if I scared everyone. Humans can move quickly when needed. It's not a big deal to us." The security fields remained in place as the aliens held an urgent discussion among themselves. James could only catch pieces of their conversation. Predatory response time. No visible signs before it moved. Could have reached any of us before we could react. Finally, Ambassador Trell approached the field, staying at what he considered a safe distance. "Lieutenant James, we must suspend this meeting. There was insufficient preparation for direct contact. We need to adjust our protocols." "Did I do something wrong?" James asked. "Not wrong by your standards," Trell said carefully. "But you must understand, in the galaxy, species are either intelligent builders or dangerous predators. Never both. What you just displayed would be classified as apex predator behavior on 100 worlds." James tried to understand, but I was helping. I wasn't being aggressive. "That is what makes your kind unique and concerning," Trell explained. "You don't even recognize your predatory capabilities as unusual. To you, it's just reflex." Back on Earth, the video of the incident caused confusion among human leaders. They had expected challenges in first contact, but not that their basic physical abilities would cause such alarm. "So they're afraid of us?" asked the Secretary General during an emergency meeting. "Because we can catch falling objects." The chief scientist shook her head. No, they're afraid because we're the only species they've ever met that can compose poetry, build spaceships, and move with the speed and strength of a predator, all in the same body. To them, we're an impossible thing. Thinking predators who don't think of themselves as predators at all. Outside in space, more Galactic Union ships arrived, keeping a careful watch on Earth, the home of the only species in the galaxy where unarmed civilian and deadly predator were the same classification. Vex moved carefully through the observation deck of the research station orbiting Earth. As the Union's leading xenobiologist, he had studied over 300 intelligent species across the galaxy. But humans fascinated him more than any creatures he had ever encountered. Today, he was showing his new assistant, Lyra, how to properly observe humans. The large viewing screen showed different scenes from Earth, captured by hidden drones. "Watch carefully," Vex said, his 4 eyes blinking in sequence. "Tell me what you see." Lyra, still young for her species, focused on the screen. It showed humans in a place called a gym. "They are hurting themselves?" Lyra asked, confused. "They lift heavy objects and put them down, over and over. They run in place going nowhere. Some hit large hanging bags." Vex made a sound that was his species' version of laughter. "They call it exercise. They deliberately stress their bodies to make them stronger." "But why?" Lyra asked. "Most species preserve energy when possible. Most species are either prey or specialized predators," Vex explained. "Humans are something else. Look at this." The screen changed to show a human running through a forest. The drone followed from above as the human tracked a deer for hours, never stopping, barely slowing. "This human will chase this animal until it can no longer run," Vex said. "The deer is faster, but the human can run longer. Most predators give up if they don't catch prey quickly. Humans do not." Lyra's skin changed to a pale yellow, showing her discomfort. "That seems cruel." "It is efficient," Vex corrected. "Their ancestors hunted this way for thousands of years before they built civilization. They call it persistence hunting. Few species in the galaxy can maintain pursuit for hours like this." The screen changed again, showing humans swimming in cold ocean water. "Their temperature control is remarkable," Vex continued. "Most warm-blooded species would die in that water, but humans can survive. They sweat to cool down and shiver to warm up. They can adapt to different environments faster than almost any species we know." Lyra watched with growing interest. But if they are such efficient predators, how did they develop intelligence? The evolutionary balance theory says species either develop stronger defenses or better thinking, never both. "Exactly," Vex said, clearly excited. "That's what makes humans unique. They broke the pattern. They kept their predatory abilities while developing intelligence as a hunting advantage. It later became technology, art, culture, but it started as a way to become better hunters." The screen changed again, showing humans in different activities, some building complex machines, others caring for young, others playing games. "Their brains are fascinating," Vex said. "They can switch from logical problem-solving to emotional bonding to competitive drive, all controlled by the same mind. Most species specialize in one type of thinking." "Are they dangerous?" Lyra asked. Vex considered the question. "Yes and no. They can be extremely dangerous. Their history is full of violence against each other, but they're also capable of remarkable cooperation and empathy." The screen showed a human helping another who was hurt. "They care for the weak," Vex noted. "Many predator species abandon any member who cannot keep up. Humans often do the opposite." "It's contradictory," Lyra said. "It's human," Vex replied. "They are full of contradictions. They can build weapons that could destroy their entire planet, and then create beautiful art about peace. They can demonstrate both savage violence and gentle compassion, sometimes within the same individual on the same day." The screen showed one final image, a human family having a meal together. What most concerns the Union, Vex said quietly, is that they don't see themselves as dangerous. To them, they are just normal. They have no idea how their basic abilities appear to other species. Will they ever join the Union? Lyra asked. Vex turned all four eyes to the screen. I don't know. They are the only species in the galaxy where unarmed civilian and deadly predator are the same classification. That makes them either the most dangerous species we've ever encountered, or potentially the most valuable allies we could ever find. The Joint Research Station Discovery orbited a distant moon in neutral space. Built as a place where humans and Galactic Union scientists could work together safely, it housed 30 aliens from different species and 10 humans. Today, that isolated location made it a perfect target. The pirate vessel Claw approached silently, its stealth systems hiding it from standard sensors. Captain Drex smiled, showing sharp teeth. His crew specialized in raiding research stations. Scan for defenses, Drex ordered. His first officer checked the readings. Minimal security, standard Union protocols, and, he paused, 10 humans aboard. Drex dismissed this information with a wave of his hand. Humans are no threat. The Union treats them like dangerous creatures, but I studied them. Soft skin, no natural weapons. Without their tools, they're harmless. Inside the station, alarm systems suddenly activated. Red lights flashed as Commander Jack looked at the security screen. Pirates, he said to Dr. Penn, a Union scientist beside him. They've disabled our communication systems. Dr. Penn's skin turned pale blue with fear. We have no weapons. The Union prohibits them on research stations. Jack's face became serious. Gather everyone in the central lab. We don't have much time. 20 minutes later, the pirates cut through the outer airlock. 12 armed raiders entered the station, weapons ready. Too easy, Drex said, leading his crew through the empty corridors. Find the valuable research and any rare materials. They reached the central laboratory and found all station personnel gathered there. The aliens huddled together while the humans stood protectively near them. Nobody move, Drex shouted, pointing his weapon at the group. Cooperate, and you might survive. Commander Jack stepped forward. We're a research station. We have nothing valuable. Drex laughed. Knowledge is valuable, and some of these rare species will bring good money in certain markets. As the pirates spread through the room, Jack caught the eye of the other humans. A look passed between them, an ancient understanding that required no words. The first pirate who reached for one of the alien scientists suddenly found himself thrown across the room. Another pirate turned, only to be tackled by 2 humans moving with surprising speed. What is happening? Drex shouted as chaos erupted. The humans had moved with coordinated precision. Despite having no weapons, they attacked from different directions. 2 pirates were already unconscious. Another screamed as his arm broke in a human's grip. Dr. Penn watched in amazement as the human named Lisa, a quiet botanist, leaped over a table and landed on a pirate twice her size, bringing him down with technique rather than strength. Drex fired his weapon, hitting Jack in the shoulder. But instead of falling, Jack charged forward, ignoring the wound. The pirate captain had never seen anything like it. Most species would collapse from pain or fear after being shot. Fall back, Drex ordered, suddenly afraid. His remaining crew retreated toward the door, firing wildly. But the humans had already blocked the exit. Moving with what the Union called predatory efficiency, they had outflanked the pirates. 3 humans held the door, while others continued attacking from multiple directions. 15 minutes after it began, the fight was over. All pirates were either unconscious or restrained. Only then did Jack finally acknowledge his wound, allowing Dr. Penn to treat him. I don't understand, the alien scientist said while applying medication. You have no natural weapons, no armor. How did you defeat armed raiders? Jack winced as the medicine stung. Teamwork, Strategy. And adrenaline, a chemical our bodies produce during danger. It gives us strength and blocks pain. Dr. Penn looked at the human with new understanding. You fought like predators, but you protected us instead of yourselves. Jack smiled slightly. That's what humans do. We can be dangerous when needed, but we choose when to use that ability. 2 days later, when Union security forces finally arrived, they found the station functioning normally. The pirates were contained in a makeshift brig, and all personnel were safe. The security commander couldn't hide his surprise. You defeated armed pirates with no weapons. Commander Jack shrugged. We're human. We're the only species in the galaxy where unarmed civilian and deadly predator are the same classification. Today, that was our advantage. Professor Allen walked slowly through the grand hallway of the Galactic Union Cultural Center. After the pirate incident at Discovery Station, the Union had finally allowed more humans to join galactic society. This massive building on Union Station Alpha was humanity's first permanent presence in the wider galactic community. Today was the opening day of the Human Cultural Exhibit, and aliens from dozens of worlds crowded the entrance, curious about these strange new beings. Remember, Allen told his human staff, move slowly, no sudden gestures. Smile, but don't show too many teeth. It frightens some species. His assistant, Maria, nodded. The Union Cultural Guide mentioned that our natural walking speed appears aggressive to most species. Exactly, Allen replied. What feels relaxed to us looks like stalking behavior to them. The doors opened, and alien visitors began entering the exhibit. Some moved on many legs, others floated, and some rolled on specialized mobility devices. All watched the humans carefully. The first display showed human art and music. Most aliens seemed comfortable here, enjoying Earth's creative works. But problems started at the next section, which demonstrated human physical activities. A video of children playing tag caused several visitors to back away in alarm. What's wrong? Allen asked a nearby Union guide. The blue-skinned alien gestured to the screen. Your young are practicing hunting techniques. Chase behaviors are considered threatening in most cultures. Allen sighed. They're just playing. It's how children develop coordination and social bonds. Perhaps, the guide replied. But to other species, it looks like predator training. Similar misunderstandings happened throughout the day. A cooking demonstration frightened visitors when the chef used a knife with casual skill. A simple handshake was seen as a dominance display because of grip strength. Even human laughter startled some aliens who interpreted it as aggressive vocalization. During lunch break, Allen met with Ambassador Trell to discuss the problems. I don't understand, Allen said, carefully sipping his water. We're doing everything possible to appear non-threatening. Trell's 3 eyes blinked in sequence. The issue isn't what you do, but what you are. When most species look at humans, they see potential danger, even when you're being friendly. But the pirate incident proved we can use our abilities to protect, not harm, Allen argued. Yes, Trell agreed. Some Union members now support the Guardian theory, the idea that humans could serve as protectors. Others fear giving humans any official position of power. As they talked, a commotion erupted in the main exhibit hall. Allen rushed back to find a group of alien children had wandered into a separate area where human athletes were demonstrating basic exercises. A human was doing simple push-ups, but to the alien children, it looked like a threatening display. They made high-pitched alarm calls, causing their parents to rush over in panic. Maria quickly moved the athletes to another room while Allen tried to calm the situation. They were just exercising, he explained to the upset alien parents. Building strength is normal for humans. One parent, a tall insect-like being, vibrated with distress. Why would civilians need such strength? Only warriors train their bodies this way. Allen struggled to find the right words. For humans, physical fitness is part of health. We don't separate our physical and intellectual development. Later that evening, after the center closed, Alan gathered his team for a meeting. Today was difficult, he admitted, but it's just the beginning of a long process. We need to help other species understand us, and we need to learn their boundaries. Will they ever accept us? Maria asked. Alan looked thoughtful. They're afraid because we're different. We're the only species in the galaxy where unarmed civilian and deadly predator are the same classification. But that unique perspective might be exactly what the galaxy needs. Outside the meeting room, a small group of Union officials watched the humans through a one-way window. Fascinating creatures, one said. They spend all day trying not to scare anyone, yet they don't seem afraid themselves. Ambassador Trell nodded. That's what makes them unique. They understand fear, but they don't let it control them. In time, that courage might change the galaxy, for better or worse. General Rivera stood before the emergency session of the Galactic Union Council. 3 months had passed since the first attack by the Swarm, a hostile species from beyond known space. 7 Union worlds had already fallen, their populations lost. The Swarm targets civilian worlds specifically, Rivera explained, pointing to the star map. They avoid heavily defended military outposts and strike where protection is weakest. The council members listened in silence. Fear filled the grand chamber. The Swarm moved like a deadly wave across space, unstoppable by conventional Union forces. Ambassador Trell spoke first. Our military cannot defend all civilian systems. We lack the numbers and speed to respond to these attacks. Rivera nodded. That's why I'm proposing a new approach, one based on an old human concept. The large screen behind Rivera changed to show images from Earth's history. It displayed wolves, dogs, and human shepherds protecting flocks of sheep. On Earth, we developed a system where predators protected prey animals. Rivera explained. We call them sheepdogs. Creatures with all the strength and skill of wolves, but with a protective instinct rather than a hunting one. A Union scientist interrupted. What does this ancient Earth practice have to do with the current crisis? Everything, Rivera replied. The Swarm attacks non-predator civilian species because they're easy targets. Traditional Union forces respond too slowly, but humans can create a new type of defense. Rivera's plan was bold. Small teams of human protectors would be stationed on vulnerable civilian worlds, not as an army, but as guardians integrated into local communities. They would use their unique combination of predatory instinct and strategic thinking to organize local defense. Humans can teach defensive strategies while providing immediate protection. Rivera continued. We understand both how predators think and how to build cooperative communities. No other species has this dual perspective. The council debated fiercely. Many feared putting humans in positions of power throughout Union space. Others saw no alternative. The old classification problem has become our greatest advantage, Rivera said. We are the only species in the galaxy where unarmed civilian and deadly predator are the same classification. Now that unique nature can save lives. 2 weeks later, the first human guardian units deployed to threatened worlds. On the planet Valis, a team of 5 humans arrived to protect a colony of peaceful Merrics, plant-based beings with no concept of violence. The Merrics leader, a tall, willowy creature named Bloom, watched nervously as the humans established defense systems. Your people have never faced danger before, said Guardian Team Leader Park. But we will teach you how to survive. We cannot fight, Bloom said sadly. It is not in our nature. Park smiled gently. That's why we're here. You don't need to become predators. You just need to understand how they think. Over the next month, the humans trained the Merrics not in combat, but in early warning systems, community organization, and evacuation procedures. The humans became part of the community, joining in Merrick's light-gathering ceremonies, while teaching them survival skills. When the Swarm finally attacked Valis, they found something unexpected. Instead of helpless victims, they encountered organized resistance. The Merrics executed perfect evacuation plans, while the human guardians coordinated the defense. The swarm, used to easy victories, retreated after suffering heavy losses against the small human team. Similar success stories came from across Union space. The Human Guardian program worked because it combined two approaches: the protective strength of humans and the community cooperation of civilian species. 6 months after the program began, the swarm attacks slowed and then stopped completely. The predatory force had met something it didn't understand: prey species protected by guardians who could think like both predator and prey. In a formal ceremony on Union Central, the Council created a new official classification: Guardian Species. Humans became the first and only members of this category. Ambassador Trell presented the declaration to General Rivera. "You have changed how the galaxy sees humans," Trell said. "What once frightened us now protects us." Rivera accepted the document with a nod. "We didn't change, Ambassador. We've always been both, capable of violence and compassion, strength and gentleness. We're the only species in the galaxy where unarmed civilian and deadly predator are the same classification. Now, finally, we've found our place in the stars, not as conquerors or victims, but as guardians."